Good evening. I am Brian Carpenter, sports editor of the Meriden Record Journal, alongside my man, my left-hand man, my right-hand man, Mr. Sean Crossick. We are coming to you live from Middletown High School, where the Maloney Spartans just lost to Daniel Hand 1-0 in the Class L championship. Earlier today, we had the Cheshire field hockey team losing 2-0 to Staples. Shawnee, we just watched the Maloney boys walk off this field after losing to the two-time defending champions. And I'm going to turn this over to you because you've been watching these guys throughout the season. I just saw a team that was really impressive. And if the Maloney Spartans are watching, you guys can play the game. You played it well. You represented your city. A 1-0 defeat for the Spartans, Shawnee. But you know what? I think a lot of people figured Ham was going to come in here and smoke the Spartans. Yeah. And that did not happen.
No, it did not. No. This was Maloney, like they've had all postseason. They've played a great defensive game, and they bend but don't break. And they got outshot 9-1 in this game. But it wasn't that one-sided. Their defense played strong. Scott Testori ended up scoring the game-winning goal in the 67th minute. He was the game MVP. He has 22 goals heading into this season. He was the difference today, but like you said, Maloney has nothing to be upset about. Devin Wan, 8 saves, 3 or 4 of them diving variety. He was impressive out there.
And Devin Wan's only a sophomore. We're going to be talking about Devin for 2 more years to come, even in the spring and boys volleyball season. Here's what I noticed about Devin Wan, and has been such a big part of this run with the PKs and everything in the earlier rounds. You know, aside from being a fantastic athlete, which he clearly is, Devin has a great awareness of where he is on the field. A lot of those early saves, he just always seems to know where he is in relation to the net. And even ones that he didn't get his hand on, he at least had his body in a position where if he got his hand on it, he knew he was going to steer it aside. Whereas if he didn't touch it, he knew it was going wide or high. Devin Wan, really, I don't think you can say enough about what he did for the Spartans in the tournament. No question.
He was the backbone for them all postseason, and their defense was great. And like you said, it's just a great story. They've been a great story.
First Meriden team, boys or girls, soccer team to reach a state soccer championship. I'll tell you, too, everybody figured the Maloney would have a defensive strategy, which they did, but they did push the attack, especially in the first half. Guys like Ben Pierce, Zach Smith seemed to be all over the place. Lamar Thaxter, they were getting after it, and especially in the first chances. First half, Maloney did have chances. Sean.
They did, yeah. Yep. The Thaxter was big. Joshua Urena was in it. Zach Smith, as we saw. The offense did create some chances. There's no question about it. They did have one corner kick in the first, and then in the closing minutes, they had a couple of desperation shots as well. Yeah,
it was a dramatic final minute.
It
really was. They had a free kick a little bit from outside the box, and then the corner literally in the dying second, and it was a good ball. Yeah. Maloney boys soccer falling to Hand 1-0. We did speak to a few people after the game, did we not, Shawnee?
Yes, we spoke with Coach Dave Parnes and also senior Ben Pierce.
They made one more play than we did when it mattered, in our zone. So.
What do you have to say about this year as a whole?
Guys did a great job. I thought they just battled. That was kind of our, once we got into the tournament, just to battle and, keep yourself alive and give yourself, an opportunity at the end of the game. And, we had a couple games where it was PKs, or the Wilcox game where we scored at the end in the Brantford game. So these guys, they did what they had to do. And, it was nice to see because when they played together, they showed, it was a total team effort. It was a different guy every time. And, they should be very proud of what they did.
What do you have to say about the season as a whole this year, Ben?
It's a way to go out as a senior. It's always going to be a memory in my brain, and it's going to be a memory forever.
Was playing in a championship game, was it everything you thought it would be out here with the big crowd and everything like that?
It was exactly how I thought it would be, honestly. The crowd was definitely supportive. We had more people show up from Maloney than we did for Hands, so we had a great crowd, especially in Middletown. It's almost like a home field for us, but it'll be a great night.
The Maloney Hand game was our second of 2 state championships we had today on Sunday. The first one, Shawnee, is another team, of course, that you've seen a lot of, Cheshire field hockey. And even though Cheshire was the number 1 seed, up against number 2 Staples, the defending champ, they knew they were up against it. Staples, an offensive team, and Coach Eileen Wilderman, what they decided to do in this game was to go in a defensive strategy, kind of the rope-a-dope, as Coach Wilderman will talk about in a little bit. What they basically wanted to do was kind of get in a defensive shell, fight them off, maybe get late in the game in overtime and, send a quick counter punch and perhaps sneak in a goal. The problem was About 18 minutes or so to go, Kyle Kirby, penalty corner goal. And then another one she scored about 12:58 to go. Very similar play. She took the insert, top of the circle. On the first one, Shawnee, she deked a little to the right, found her opening and did not miss. And then on the second one, took the shot pretty much right when she got at the top of the corner. Boom. And, the Cheshire Field hockey defense, which had only given up 6 goals up to this point, gave up 2 more. But as you know, a historical season, Shawnee, for the Cheshire Rams.
Yeah. This is 17 seniors. They leave quite a legacy. This team had Michaela Crowley and Annie Eddy, some really strong players. Lexi Hemstock in goal. It's been a great year for Cheshire. Nothing to hang their heads about. They just ran up against a great team today.
They did. And with Cheshire, you mentioned the 17 seniors. Yeah. Crowley's a player. That girl is a player, and she's tough. She's out there showing bare legs, bare shoulders. Yeah. It's like 30 degrees out today. And that girl did not stop moving the whole game. Literally, I think she ran a marathon. She's like the Greek dude that the marathon is named after. She never stopped moving. She's like a shark. And Annie Eddy, but she could tee up some shots, and she had a good chance. The dying minutes, Cheshire did get some penalty corners late. And Annie got off a good shot that had never made it to net, though. Believe it or not, a Staples defender got in front of the thing. Yeah. That's it. Field hockey girls, they got guts, those girls. Because one thing that impressed me about the way field hockey has evolved with all these turf fields now, it's really become an aerial game. Mm-hmm. And if the team's got the skills, they're just going over people. And there was a lot of that today because we saw 2 teams with very good technical skills. And Staples was loaded with them. Cheshire's got some players too. There's no question. Their first undefeated regular season in 28 years.
Yes.
Lexi Hemstock, 19 shutouts. That's a program record. Congratulations to those players. We do have some interviews with Michaela and Coach Wilderman that we're going to have Spencer run.
We all played our hearts out, and I think it was a good game.
What else did they do well that you had a hard time with?
I think they're quick. Like when we would get a foul, they would go right away, and sometimes we weren't ready for that. So overall they were like a really fast and skilled team.
Did you expect this from them?
Yeah, we definitely did. We knew we were up against a really skilled team, and we just tried to prepare for that. We all loved coming to practice, and there really was no drama. We all loved being together. So it was a really good season, I think.
Staples is one of the best attacking teams in the state. They only have 6 goals or something against them this season. So we watched them on film. So we knew that they could come at us really hard, just because they play a harder schedule. So we decided to play a very defensive first half, and it worked. We had a really, really nice first half. It looked probably to people that didn't know our strategy like we were on our heels, but that was kind of the point. We kept the girls behind the 50 the whole time. And then we extended it to the second half until they scored their goal.
We've won a couple state championships. You didn't get it this year, but this is an unforgettable season.
Oh my God. This is, I said to them, there's not one day this season that I didn't look forward to practice. Yesterday was bittersweet having the last day with them. They're just a fun, positive team. And my teams are always fun, but definitely something special about the way that they all got along this year. And how consistent they were, and there's a lot of them are just natural leaders, so it was just really fun to coach them.
And we want to thank Michaela and Coach Wilderman, as well as Coach Parness and Dave Parness and Ben Pierce for speaking to us after their games. It's always tough talking after a loss, but they got on camera and they spoke well. Dave Parness has taken Maloney Soccer, Maloney Soccer, to where it hasn't been before, and Coach Wilderman has filled some big shoes when she took over from Arlene Salvati, and she has certainly carried on the legacy of that program. 2 fantastic seasons for those 2 teams, as well as for Southington and Cheshire Volleyball. Let's not forget about them. They didn't get as far as they hoped they would. We expected them to be playing last night. But it was a good postseason. Very proud of our teams. It was a lot of fun covering them, Sean.
Oh, yeah. It's a great fall, and we're looking forward to winter.
Well, let's play a little football first on Thanksgiving.
Yes, of course.
We will be coming to you the day after Thanksgiving with the Thanksgiving football highlights. For now, this has been This Week in High School Sports Championship Sunday edition. I am Brian Carpenter, alongside my man, Shawnee Crossick. Thank you for watching.